If you think great leaders always have a plan, you're playing the wrong game. Leadership today is no longer about having all the answers. It's about moving with purpose when the path is unclear. AI is changing roles overnight. Reorgs throw teams into chaos. And sometimes your own career can feel like it's just drifting without a map. In this new reality, the question isn't, do I know the way? It's, how do I lead anyway? The reality is this: uncertainty isn't a leadership flaw. It's actually the reason why leadership exists. Great leaders don't wait for clarity. They make clarity happen. And they do this by staying grounded, leaning into their values, and keeping the momentum moving forward. In this video, I'm going to show you how to lead when you don't have all the answers, starting with what matters most: how you lead yourself. To lead yourself first, we need to start with the foundation. Reconnect with your center. What's your mission? What are your values? When we start with these two pillars, we are able to create better direction of where we want to go. Let's take New Year's resolutions, for example. We often start with goals and specific outcomes that we want to have. We want to exercise 5 times a week. We want to go to bed early. Maybe we want to meditate a little bit more. When we focus on these external numbers, we start pressuring ourselves to meet them, rather than transforming us from the inside out. When we shift our goals from, I want to exercise 5 times a week, to, I am someone who exercises and chooses to exercise, we start to reframe it from the ground up. We start to create an identity of who we want to be. And research shows that when we focus on this identity shift, we actually start achieving those goals more often than we do when we focus on numbers. And that's the same when we start with our mission and values. We start asking in every decision, who do I want to be? What value is this aligning with? And these values are critical decision filters when everything is in chaos. What's the decision that needs to happen here that aligns with my values? What's being broken? And it allows us to move with a little bit more certainty. Once we've built that foundation of our mission and vision, we want to choose progress over perfection. So often do we want to have all the information before we make a decision. We want to have the clearest roadmap so we can figure out which way to go. But we want to shift that so that we're actually taking action before clarity. Because taking action actually creates that clarity. Say you're walking down a foggy road. You don't know which way you're going, so you take one path and you realize it's not quite the right path. So you go back and you keep moving forward the other direction. By taking that action of taking the wrong path, you realize that it is the wrong path, and it allows you to go the correct path. And it's like decisions here. By taking action and iterating, whether that's your own leadership or your product, that action gives you a little bit more information, so you get a little bit more clarity on whether that's the right way to go. Building on top of progress is actually to prove it to yourself. Build more confidence through finding evidence of you doing things well and navigating uncertainty. Recall moments when you navigated the fog well and write them down. Track small wins as you go, so you can reinforce that you can handle the unknown. Take, for example, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She was a force on the Supreme Court for decades. Her leadership style was rooted in steady and evidence-based progress. She knew that in order to advance gender equality, she couldn't just make one big change all at once. She was strategical. She advanced gender equity through incremental legal wins. Her confidence was grounded in a proven track record of small but steady victories, showing us that leadership doesn't have to be immediate or flashy in order to be transformative. So leading yourself is the groundwork of making any sort of change through uncertainty. But then how do you work with your team and a lot of other people that are also navigating this? So the second half is about leading others through ambiguity. One critical component of this is to name the uncertainty directly. Don't pretend that things are clear. Be honest. You're setting the groundwork for transparency and openness. Say things like, here's what we don't know, but here are the things that we're doing as we're learning. This is critical because it creates psychological safety and trust. And you coming from a calm but transparent space is a stabilizing force for the team. Like earlier in leading yourself, where you're creating certainty through your actions. For your team, you want to create certainty through structure. One of the most foundational certainties is to create a vision and a direction. What is it that you want to move towards? Even if that version is not the perfect version that you'll end up with, knowing the right direction that you want to try to iterate on is critical in creating certainty. And if you don't know which way to go, focus on the next action, which is why we said it earlier. And outside of that, you want to create consistent structures for the team. Make the day-to-day a little bit clearer. Reinforce short-term priorities, and make sure you're maintaining some sort of rhythm to your meetings, decision-making practices, or communication. Make dependable routines or decision-making flows that offer clarity when the big picture is unclear. The final piece here is to coach, not control. It's very easy for us to develop micromanagement patterns in times of uncertainty, but your role isn't to have all the answers. It's to develop adaptive thinking in others. Ask open but focused questions like, what's in our control? And what can we try this week? In times like this, we want to normalize iteration, prioritization, and learning from ambiguity as a team culture. So the beautiful thing about this is that when we start from ourselves as a foundation and bring it to our structures for our teams, we start to be able to navigate uncertainty a little bit more. Because uncertainty is not a bad thing in leadership. It's actually the perfect place to grow and keep expanding as leaders. While you can't eliminate the fog, you can lead through it with intention. If you want to learn how to shift your identity as a leader from uncertain to confident, check out this next video.